Welcome, Sally Forster Jones. From up here, there's a lot of faces. From where you're sitting, it's one, so that's why it makes it a little more challenging. Let me get this off the seat here for you. And then if you could hand Sally the mic, so you can just kind of hold that, Sally. We don't need to mic you up just so that, because I yell and you'll chat and we'll do that.
Okay.
I just wanted to bring Sally up because she's a super iconic agent, one of the top probably agents in the country, and I think she has a ton of valuable insights. So the first thing, Sally, I'd love to just chat with you. You came aboard to Compass last February. Maybe you can give the group a recap and tell us a little bit about how your year went.
Okay, hi everybody. Welcome, 2019, excited about that. But so for 2018, I came here in February, and so the first quarter was, I'm going to just say, challenging. Just the move is a big deal, no matter what. I had, 50, 60 listings, moving everyone, getting everything organized. First 3 months was really pretty challenging, and my numbers were horrible. However, turned out that 2018 was my best year so it was great. And in a time where everybody's talking about recession and what's going on in the market, this is really little, but okay. I don't know, can everyone hear me okay?
Yeah, that's great.
Just recession and things are changing and how we're going to ever sell real estate again and everything else. So wound up that, 2017 previously was my best year, and I just to share, some numbers with you. At that point, I did $7.1 million or so in GCI, and this 2018 I beat that by about $1 million. So even with the first quarter being horrible, Compass there was something good about my coming here because we wound up somewhere $8.1 million to $8.2 million in GCI. So it's been a fabulous experience and a fabulous year, and now I'm here ready for 2019.
Excellent. I watched you on an interview with Steve Scholl, and I'm going to talk a little bit coming up after Sally, a little about mindset and how we enter into the new year. And one of the things you said that really impressed me was, no one is ever going to get a rise out of me. You maintain calm and composure at all times. Tell me a little bit about that and how that serves you.
Well, it's everyone gets very excited about what's going on in real estate and with their deal, and that's the buyers, the sellers, and also the brokers. And so it's really it's a big thing, and every day is another crisis. And so I feel like my job, in order to be effective, is to be the voice of reason at all times. So that's really probably the critical thing just in that negotiations and throughout the entire escrow. I can think of a handful maybe of deals that were all smooth and everything went just exactly the way they should, because that's not typical. But in a crisis situation, you have sellers who are not on the same page with what the buyer wants, and there's a negotiation, and frequently you have brokers who just get jumped right in and just feel like it's their deal and they have to do it right, and even if the seller or the buyer is not even what they want, so they just get so involved and so emotional about it. And so for me, what I do, otherwise I would it would be like the death of me, is I just remove myself from the whole thing. I'm just always looking at it as, the voice of reason. If everyone's excited, including the other side broker, which frequently is the case, I just cut right through that. It's like, okay, I hear them out. Important thing is validate what they have to say, listen to what they have to say, and then, just deal with whatever the situation is. You'll never hear me yell at anyone or curse at anyone or throw plates or anything like that. It's just a matter of just really hearing them out, validating what they're saying, and then looking at how to get to a solution.
Excellent. What do you do? So let's talk about, we're looking forward into the new year. So you have a large team. What do you do when you're planning or setting your goals for the new year? What does that process look like for you and your team?
So the first thing is that everyone has to have a business plan. Business plan is critical. Otherwise, you don't know what you're doing, and you have to have it in such a way that you can measure throughout the year, am I on track? So there's a business plan for the team. There's a business plan for each of the agents, and the business plan includes, how much money do you want to make? What is your price point? And just not only on the money aspect, what do you want your life to look like? How much time do you want to be working? Do you want to take vacations? What do you want to do? What is your entire goal? And really just write that down and look at it and say, okay, this is what I want. And then with that, how am I going to get there? Just on a yearly basis, then breaking it down on monthly, breaking it down to a weekly. How am I going to get where I want to be? Wherever that is, and then measuring that continually. Just for, I'm just accountable just as anybody else here. I make myself accountable, because if you're not, then nothing ever happens and you don't know if you're doing a good job. But I am once a week absolutely looking at where I am as far as where I want to go. Am I on target on a weekly basis? Am I making my numbers? Am I making my contacts? Am I making my calls? Am I, on track? And so I measure that every single week. And so I know exactly how many escrows, how many, who am I calling? What am I doing continually every single week? So it's really just laying it out. So we're doing that. We have every one of the, agents on the team doing that, and we're doing that. We're still finalizing, because we looked at where we were, we're finalizing and say, okay, where do we want to go? And how are we going to get there? And the fact that, this year, we're looking at where's the market and what does that mean to us?
Got it. And so with that, how do you view, we're in a shifting market. How do you view that? Are you taking any other tactics? Are you doing anything differently? What's that look like for your team? Shifting markets.
Well, I don't like to make excuses for things, okay? Shifting market, we're here to sell real estate. I mean, that's the job, okay? Goal is, we're gonna sell real estate. And so if it's, I don't like to look and say, oh my God, we're not selling because it's Christmas, it's New Year's, it's, Super Bowl. We're selling real estate, and there's always going to be buyers and sellers, and for one reason or another, people have babies, they get married, they get divorced, they get all these things happen. And so with that, we know that there is business. And the fact that the market is either going to go up or go down, we're still here to sell and do that. That's our job. And with the shifting market, what happens is, reality is it gives more opportunity to the brokers who really are on their game. So the ones who, we have a team, which, at this point feels really an advantage to us, but it's how good are you? Because sellers need brokers who will perform, and this is at the time when they're feeling scared and nervous themselves, they turn to quality. And so I look at this as, just really an opportunity, forgetting about all the discount brokers and all of that. This is the opportunity to really, for the brokers who shine, to really get more market share. So I'm just looking at it as a year for us of opportunity.
Awesome. Is there anything you're doing different in 2019 than you did in 2018?
Yes, I'm going to just, say that 2018, we spent a lot of time with our move. We spent a lot of time just on systems and operations and making sure that everything was running smoothly and all that, which is really important. But it took me personally away from what I'm best at, and that is really selling. And so for 2019, my focus really is to just really concentrate on the things that I'm best at. And the operation, I hired a COO, which is, critical for me, so that is going to be just making sure everything is running smoothly, from the systems. But it is really, for me, it's 100% focused on making sales. One of the things that happened to us is in, just looking at where time was being spent and focused. I'm a big proponent of like going back to basics. You always have to make your contacts, you always have to call, you always have to be prospecting. And what happens was I let up a little bit on that, and then come November, it's like, it's sort of like I hired a COO, a light bulb went on and said, I gotta sell. And so that mind shift, we put 33 things into escrow, 33 deals into escrow in November. Again, at a time when everybody was saying holidays and, I don't know, maybe I'll take off until after the new year. We put 33 deals into escrow with the mind shift of job is to sell, and it goes back to, again, this, so I'm excited, 2019, we're just, the shift is we're selling.
I love it.
Not that 2018 is bad, I'm just, that's the shift.
Fair. What sort of challenges are you facing in your business right now? Or what are a few big challenges that you're working on or looking to overcome, or that your team is encountering that you're working on strategies to fix?
Well, it's, we're in a team meeting, and we talk every Monday on, what can we learn, what's going on in the market. And so it's again goes to the challenge. It's just going back to what the basics are. And the basics are just keeping focused on prospecting, keeping focused on selling, not putting out, getting rid of all the noise on what's going on in the marketplace, not important. So I'm not looking at that as it's not really a challenge. It is just something we're just keeping focused on where we're going and what we're doing. And really going back to a little bit what I was saying before, it's our job is to sell real estate.
What's the best piece of business advice you've ever received?
Okay.
It's hard to stump Sally.
Yeah, no. So I don't know. It's the best piece of business advice I've ever received. Well, it's, I'm going to go back to a lot of the things and just really on just being focused. It's really, and also just, accountability. And something, this is advice and things that I have learned through the years, is that unless you have, you have to be accountable, your sellers have to be accountable, everyone has to be accountable, but you have to be accountable to what your goals are and what you're doing, and just really measure and keep track of all that. It goes back to my business plan.
Fantastic. I think we alluded to earlier, I was going to ask, what's your favorite mistake of 2018 and what did you learn? I think that plays back in your focus piece.
Yes, it's all the focus and doing what you're best at. And just if you need help, get someone to help you with the things that you need help with. Just only do the things that you excel at, and just hone in on those. So just from, just even on prospecting is, what are you best at? Are you best at, door knocking? Are you best at, just going with referrals? Just hone in on what you are best at and go with that. And see if you can get other people to pick up the slack on the things and cover you on the things that you're not as good at.
One of the things that I am impressed about is you have a wild schedule, and you book in your vacations. Like, those are planned in advance. And yet you're running this incredible business. So obviously you place a priority on that balance. Tell me a little bit about that, like about your process, and the importance you place on the breaks and your goals around that balance.
Yeah. So I have I have a family, I have kids, I have grandkids, I have a life. And real estate is a very important part of it. And so I really work a lot, and I am very focused when I work. But I get up every morning and I work out. So at 6:30 in the morning, I'm working out for an hour. I, spend time with my family, and I do a lot of vacations. And so that is important. I'm going to, this is going to be interesting. I'm going on end of February, I'm going to Africa, and I'm going to be trekking gorillas. And then I'm going to be in Seychelles Islands where nobody can find me. And so so it's going to be interesting on how I'm going to be able to disconnect or not. But I do plan a lot. I go away quite a bit. So from a lot of the places that I go to, I am still on the phone, and I am still making time. Just on the phone and doing emails, and particularly if I'm in in an area where it's day, like I was actually I went to Russia, and it was night was day was here and night was there, and so what happened was I all during the day I was just touring and doing that, and all night I was working here, so it was 24-hour schedule. Not the best way to go on vacation, but I go a lot. I connect with the things that I have to while I'm gone. But it's best if I'm going to try right now to disconnect, and we'll see how that works. But it's really fitting that all in. And this is where I was saying again with the business plan. What do you want? We work for a purpose. It's it's the satisfaction that we get because I love what I do, and I'm excited about every day and what that's going to bring. But I also, love to go on vacation, and I love to do, hang out with my friends and, party and do all that stuff. So that's part of my life.
Awesome. Well, on that note, I want to thank you for your time, and thank you again.